Hello, hello, hello. Should be able to hear me now. You should be able to hear me. Yeah, there's no reason no one should. It should be just fine now. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, you should be able to hear me. Can I get a confirmation you guys can hear me? Get this started. Actually, I'll just figure it out. Let's do it right here. Actually, I'll just figure it out. All right, it's good. All right. If you came here for a circus with my kid involved or my family involved, you're not gonna get it. But I will tell you is that everything I've done, everything I've said, I stand by 100%. So you guys can figure out some of these some lies on your own, like blatant lies. But I don't know. We'll see how things go. I mean, I'll break it down every single friggin' thing. I'll break down every word. I don't give a shit. But I do kind of care because let's just say it's not just you guys listening to these streams. I've been finding out. Oh, I found out for a fact, actually. So that's kind of shady. Who did that? Now I can see why they're not public. That's fucked up. So, yeah, guys, a lot more than you guys listening to this stuff. So, anyone involved, be careful and keep my family's name out of your mouth. Talk about me, I don't care. Don't talk about my family. It's just too low. Very, very low. How low people will go. Because they're jealous or something. I don't even know what. Because I'll tell you one thing, it's not about truth and not truth. Definitely not that. A lot of assumptions, a lot of bullshit. Like for instance, I'm a Q shell because I got $3,000 worth. Take a drop of zero. First of all, it's $300 worth of merchandise. Nobody's ever came to my house when I wouldn't come out. Even that person himself never would say that. It's a lot of lies. I can hold my head high in every single one of my neighborhood that I grew up in and that I lived in later. Whether it's Charlestown, Somerville, Medford, Everett, Worcester, no matter where I go, I can hold my head up high. And then where I am now, which is the suburbs, because some of us progress in life. I know what it's like to live in Worcester and be the only white dude. You know what I mean? It's not. It's only like in those old industrial cities, like Worcester, Massachusetts, like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's just a bunch of undocumented immigrants. I know what it's like to be the only white guy walking down the street and no one speaks English. It's like freaking crazy. It's like a third world country. That's not cool. It's not the 90s when, all that shit was cool. That's not cool. I used to think it was cool. It's not. All I know is my name, my real name and my reputation. I can walk around any city. Everyone knows me. They know my brother. They know my family. I can hold my head high wherever I go. That might not be the case for everybody, but that's no reason to attack my family, attack what I say. I know that's another thing. This mic, it picks up everything. They're down the hall, then there's a room, then there's another opening, and then a room. They're in that third opening room. And this mic, it's like, maybe I gotta turn it down. I don't know if I'm wicked loud, but it picks up everything. But anyways, I don't even want to talk about that type of stuff because, it's like they're dragging me lower to go into the mud with them. But I did talk about some Q proofs, which people still don't seem to understand. And I really want people to understand that this isn't like a fake thing. This is legit. It's more. I can say that with more certainty now than ever. I'm gonna show you why. You tell me how this can be possible, and you guys can go back to my last stream when I talked about Q, and I talked about just this, exactly what they're trying to really get the message they're trying to get across. Like they know the people aren't sure. You never know you shouldn't believe anything you hear on the internet without actual proof, that makes sense. You know what? This is like one of those touchscreen. So look at this. If you guys remember, I told you guys way back, I said Q is he's either gonna drop him, the what's his name? The Attorney General will drop the D class of the FISA application, which if you listen to the media, it's like, oh, no big deal, nothing to see here. Everything was done totally correct. Everything was done by the book. But what people don't understand is the Attorney General had a very limited scope of what he could look at. And what he could look at was, first of all, he could only talk to people if they were willing to talk to him. So there's a lot of people that know they're up to no good. They're not going to talk to him and incriminate themselves. They're just not going to do that. And another thing is, the Attorney General isn't there to prosecute. He's there to make a suggestion. And what the media keeps trying to get off and saying, no, this is nothing. This is no problem here. Everything was done by the book, is because he said the documentation. All right, Philly, go. It's like she waits till I'm live. Okay. You go play. All right.
Yeah, take this.
Go play.
Come on, we're gonna get you John. Let's go.
It's real tough when you got a family to look out for. I got to be a lot more private with my personal life, I think, on here. Unfortunately, I like to be open. I like to be an open book, but I just have to be more private. So the Attorney General, he could only share so much. He can't share everything. He's not aware of everything like Durham is. Now, that's what you guys want to look at. You guys want to see heads roll? That's Durham and Attorney General. Did I say Attorney General? Inspector General for Horowitz. I think I said Attorney General. I meant to say Inspector General. The Attorney General now, he could question people, and so could the prosecutor. They got special prosecutor, but it's been a lot more quiet. And also, the media doesn't like to tell you this stuff, but this special prosecutor is looking into them. There is going to be criminal indictments, and it's going to be real serious. And this was just the beginning of it. And they're trying to act like this report was just all good, but it wasn't. And Q actually told us about exactly. If you guys have been paying attention, look, I said it before, but I'm just going to show you now because it's different to show you than to say it. I said it actually a few times, but I want to actually show you. They showed a picture of two watches. The first watch said 12:09. That was it was pointed 12:09. The second watch was pointed 1:29. So I told you guys at the time, I said, this is December 2nd. I said, either the D class will be on December 9th, which I said, I'm pretty sure that's what it is because it lines up with everything that's being said. And what's that second number for? Is that Durham? And I said, no, I think that's going to be the time it's released. Sure enough, check out some of this. See, here we go. Trip confirmed 2. And they're running all this off a relay switch, by the way. 1:29. I mean, please, will someone please explain to me if this is fake? How did they know the exact time that the D class would be released? So here's all this leading up to the D class. We're going to skip that. So the D class happens. They're quiet. They don't say anything until yes. So let's see what this is right here. This should be interesting because it says fake. Sometimes silence is necessary in order to protect select public releases, which was the inspector general. I think they wanted people to see for themselves and figure it out for themselves. And right away, as soon as it happened, I was actually anticipating it. I mean, anyone who was with me, I mean, you must have been shocked when you saw that it was released at 1:29. Oh, so whatever this is, someone put out some cute thing. It's fake, and he's letting you know it's fake. That's not from him. So B2, BB. Public statement. Bill Burr. Yeah, public statement past week. Durham public statement past week. Durham stat. Q stat. Did you learn 4 Pfizer's last week regarding the POTUS? RE means regarding, by the way, for some of you morons. And I'm talking to one specific person. Non-public prior. Cruise. Pfizer public soon. You see, all those things he named happened at 1:29 p.m. Why is that? And how was he able to predict it? That's why I believe in this stuff. And the thing is, this is just the recent proofs. There's been so many proofs that have happened that I'm coming into this with nothing but belief in this whole thing with this QAnon. It sounds crazy. I get it. At the beginning, I thought it was people were friggin' nuts. I get that. I get that people would think that this is fake. I'm telling you, it's not. And there's a lot of distractions and a lot of BS out there. Everywhere I look, a lot of people talking about things they shouldn't be talking about. Whether it's the media, and I'll show you how dishonest some of these media are. Let's take a look at this one thing. This is unbelievable. You need to check this out. This is pretty bad. All right, so there's that. Oh, this one right here, right? Where did I see it? Oh, down here. Look at this. Check this out. Oh, I'm sorry. My Twitter. Check this out. We'll get back to the whole thing. Look at this guy during the meetings. Look at this guy right here. Watch how shady the media is. I mean, this guy is screwed. I'll tell you that much. He's screwed. Knowing what I know about how they handle top secret information and things like that. And I mean, that's one of the worst things. I'll just show you guys. It's obviously bad. Very bad. So I tweeted this. Right here. Look at these shady dudes. Look at this. Journalist and a photographer. Watch this. It looks like one directs the other to do it. And this is on the House floor during the, I believe the judiciary was meeting. Well, I'm not sure if it was House or Senate. Maybe there's something here. Whoever this is. So in the Capitol building, I don't know. They all do it in the same room. But look at this. Come on. Why isn't it? Well, you know what? If you want, go to my Twitter. I don't know. You know what? It's maybe going to give me a hard time because I'm sharing screen and I'm live. But this guy here directs this guy to pick up some of the paperwork off one senator or representative's desk right there where he's sitting when they're on break, or maybe they were I think they were on break because look, they left all their papers out. This isn't where the aides sit. No, this is a senator, or if it was House, then a representative. He picks up a piece of paper, takes a picture of it. You know, it's almost like, I mean, first of all, how could the representative leave that there with all these shady media little rats walking around looking for information. I mean, it's wicked shady. I mean, it's like, ugh, I don't know, man. That's and that takes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe with the cameras on, all the cameras are on right there, and he just picks it up and take. You know what? You're gonna have to, if you want to see that, you might have to go to my Twitter to look at it, because it's just, I don't know. When you share screen, things are kind of like weird, and I'm getting used to this stuff still. But he picks it up, takes a picture of it. I mean, that is really, really shady. And quote walls of fact to stop sound issues. Yeah, the thing is, I would have to. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Brian. Yeah. All right, so he had corrected me when I was saying Attorney General, Inspector General. Yeah, of course, Inspector General Horowitz. So I cannot believe the media coverage on this, because there is all right, and a lawyer for the FBI. Another one of the major things. There was only one where he said this guy like has to be prosecuted, and that'll be up to, and ultimately, Attorney General Barr, but also Special Prosecutor Durham. And Special Prosecutor Durham, if you're looking for heads to roll, that's what you're waiting for. Like, for instance, I made a bet with somebody who actually, I mean, he's done some things I didn't like, but I haven't really seen him really like lie. So, you know what? I'll give him that. It's Road to Prison, actually. He never came to my house, and I wouldn't come out. That's not true. He never said that himself. That ain't he wouldn't say that, because it's not true. But me and him made a bet way back. I didn't know it was him because he changed his name, and he said that, you know, he doesn't believe in Q. A lot of people don't. I get that. We're gonna talk about other things, but I wanted to show these proofs so people could be like, wow, well, how's that possible? We made a bet way back. And if anyone is a Q person, you made bets with someone, or, you know, somebody's trying to say that this isn't true, all that will be known after Durham releases his report, because he can talk to anybody. You can't say no to him. I mean, I guess you can. You know, we all have that Fifth Amendment, right? I believe it's the Fifth Amendment. You know, right to you know, not say anything, but when they're coming at you with serious questions, and they know, and they got you in the vice, and they got you by the balls, that's why you see Comey coming out all of a sudden with his whole tune changed, coming out admitting all his faults to a point. You know, he admits them up to criminality, you know, being able to be prosecuted, which shows you what a dirtbag he is. No integrity. I mean, really, when I look around, there ain't much integrity in a lot of places these days. And it makes me think, why is that? Like, why one, can people just say anything, whether it be on the internet or on the public world stage? Director of the FBI. You look at one interview before all this shit came out, he's straight lying. And he's so good at it that if you don't know any better, you're not going to catch it. And it's thanks to stuff like this, to stuff like Q. I don't even have to, I read half of it and gave up, because I knew it all. I already knew all this stuff. There's some details where they get into more details, like, for instance, like this FBI lawyer. Now this is all about them surveilling Carter Page, who's within the Trump administration. Turns out Carter Page was being used by the CIA as well. Whenever he was overseas, he would give speeches overseas, and he was a small guy in the Trump campaign. But if you surveil him, that means that you also have the right to tap into anyone he's talking to. So basically, the whole Trump administration was being watched the whole time. Before he was elected, and even after he was elected into his presidency, they were watching him. And that makes me feel really good about it. This is the first president I know that has been surveilled in that way. And you would think think of some of these dirtbags that we've had that have done all this stuff. You know, they would get screwed. I mean, that's why they were able to have Flynn by the balls. They use his kids. And I know what that's like to be in that position. You know, they use his kids, and they were able to shut him up and get him out the way for now. until he was ultimately proved to be innocent by this report. But there's nothing I can tell you that you guys aren't already seeing, except they're not going to show you this Q stuff, which is off the chain, unbelievable how he's able to predict what's going to happen. So let's look at some of this stuff. When a B-2 bomber is no longer stealth, and you're saying, think public statements made last week, what must that signal? That the bomb's about to drop, I would think, right? Planned coordination attacks on Barr coming, a smear campaign. Well, it's too bad. If people weren't so quick to believe anything they heard, then, this type of stuff wouldn't be so effective. So kudos to people who wait and see what the truth is before jumping to conclusions about things really that they might not know anything about. Public opinion is important. Information warfare, a traitor's justice. Now check this out. Dates will become important. So these dates will become important. And the thing is, if you're following Q, you're gonna know these dates before they happen. So December 9th. And by the way, this right here, all this, the Barr, his whole thing, as well as Durham, as well as the report itself, all came out at 1:29. See that? All right, let's see what else we got. We're going to go through the latest Q stuff, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. Scope and size far greater than you can imagine. On whatever this Twitter status is. So let's see it. Some of this stuff I haven't even seen. I just know. Oh, is this? What? Oh. You tweeted me? No. We get a lot of interesting people posting as anons. 21 minutes later, Laura Ingraham says fast on the show. I'm on in 20. We'll say fast. It's very interesting. Very interesting. And you guys remember the whole thing. Watch the waters. Watch the waters. And then it turned out, well, that day, what were they talking about the day before all this dropped? They were talking about QAnon. And if you guys don't know, it's that show, The Waters World with Jesse Waters. And he played real stupid, like, I have a friend. I'm asking for a friend, And you had some guy who was, kind of giving like the regular media points on Q, making it look crazy, making it look like, a bunch of far right-wing militia, crazy people that, that uneducated, know nothing about this type of stuff, when that couldn't be further from the truth. So when does the B-2 drop the first bomb? So that is what it meant. Bill Barr fit into 8 spaces. Reconfigure. Oh, wow. So that's cool. Look at this. So he's talking about this. Oh, man, I can't blow that up. Here we go. Keep your eye on the ball. Midterms and memes. So I guess the dots. It's Bill Barr. So midterms and memes. So this is way back. This is November 3rd, 2018. Remember, POTUS already ordered the D-class. Rod Rosenstein pushed back hard. Is that supposed to be Bill Barr? Oh, right here. That's the 8 spaces. So I think we already know what that is. How do you remove install blockade? D-class, D-class, D-class. How do you how do you navigate around installed corrupt FBI and DOJ? Use a stealth bomber. Bill Barr is what fills in here. Or is it Whitaker? I think Q just said it, right? You just said it's Bill Barr. Bill Barr fit into 8 spaces, ? And I think the whole 8 thing, he's talking about also the Gang of 8, if you guys know about that. Reconfigure graphic. So, yeah, it's Bill Barr. You know what? Is this a key? I'll have to look into that later. But he's saying reconfigure graphic. Knowledge is power, which is very true. All right. Now right here, you guys could probably see that. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein, still overseeing. There's so many different things for the SC. Special. You guys might remember. I don't remember the SC. It stood for so many things over this whole thing. Schedule for tomorrow. Where's Huber? Nobody is above the law. The world is watching. So he says, what if there's another prosecutor outside of D.C. assigned by Sessions with the same mandate authority? One for the history books? Not long now. Well, I can tell you who that is. That's Durham. He's talking about Durham. They're back on December 12, 2018. And so here's the next one. Month, day, Durham initiated. Month, day, Q public campaign initiated. How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? It was over before it began. So Q started, I think it was like what, October 2017. So I'm assuming that Durham was put in on that date. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, right? Let's check it. When was Durham? I mean, guys, you know, this is something where it's been easy to kind of make fun of this whole Q thing for the last couple of years. Oh, he was a special prosecutor for something else in 1999. Wait. Let's see here. I hope this was like the exact date. There he is. There's Durham. That's the bulldog. He's the guy who's going to be able to actually like take people down. I don't know. All I know is that it's got to be the same day. I mean, he wouldn't say that for no reason. It's got to be the same day. I never followed that part of it. I was following the watches as far as, you know, anything recently. He ends up answering it in the next quote usually anyways. All right. What if other AG equivalents in foreign country are also currently investigating use of their intel apparatus for illegal purposes? UK comes to mind. Was the COC followed? I could tell you that's the code of conduct. But I wasn't a crypto. I never dealt with top secret intelligence. Remember? Guys, you can't just take people at their word. It's all bullshit. Huber, DOJ planes, Department of Justice planes. I don't know what he means by that. CF. Anyone? CF? Not sure what that is. CF. Not sure. But like I said, I start looking around and then something in the next one. Let's see. It's scary just how good you guys are. Look at that. Merry Cumis. Wow, huh? I mean, this is starting to be taken more seriously. The more times they give you these these impossible proofs, you know, 2 watches, one has the date of the release, one has the time of the release. I don't know how, especially if you've been watching me, I said it before it came out. And I even said, I'm pretty sure it's going to come out December 9th, but it could be January 29th because I'm thinking of that second watch. Which one? Which one's the date? Which one's the time? I said, but based on everything I'm hearing, based on what I'm seeing, based on what Q is saying, it's got to be the 9th. It was the 9th, and it was at 1:29 p.m. At that point, there is no doubt in my mind this is real. Because this is over a week beforehand. I mean, this has like been planned. It seems like military precision every single step of the way. So, what's this next one? So first, we'll read what he says. Fake news hiding the truth. Knowingly, we the people enjoy the show. So this sounds like it has something to do with what's his name? Shifty Schiff, and his lies. I mean, I just can't wait for this stuff to all be exposed. Because I think people can deny it now. Deny it now, that's fine. But when it all comes out, you want to be on the right side of it. You want to be able to say that you could see through these lies and not fall for lies and little traps. So Adam, they didn't buy your shit. Anger Adam shares abuse of power. Ooh, wow. That's pretty bad. So let's see. This might not play though. For some reason, Twitter, it's not going to play. But if you guys want to play it, see that. This is the account. Follow QAnon. United We Stand. That's pretty suggestive. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do like that, but hey, you should. I don't see how you deny this stuff. I don't know how someone could just pretend that this stuff isn't happening, that he's not predicting everything. Worth following. Senate testimony next. Facts matter. So this is like Rudy Giuliani. So his constituents, so that's all Democrats getting mad at him. And people, they're going to start turning on these people who at the times seemed like heroes. When he said, I have proof that Mueller and all this stuff. In my next thread of tweets, I will be sharing some of the evidence I have garnered through hundreds of hours of research. Turn notifications and stay tuned. Well, I would say, at the very least, just to see what he's saying. I mean, because he's going to have to stand by that. This is all going to end up in front of judges, and anything can be used as evidence. Anything. So, we'll see how that goes. That's interesting. I don't think I follow Rudy Giuliani, but I'm gonna. So, Adam Schiff memo false. If Adam Schiff was privy to Gang of Eight classified material, would he not know the same facts, the truth, as Nunes and others? Knowingly, I believe op instead of OP. I can't think of anything. So yeah, op activity pre-July 2016. Why is this relevant? Worth watching from 11:50. I love you. All right. So. Just thinks it's so funny. Okay. So this one says the same exact thing, which is weird. Why does he have two posts with the same exact thing? And if you guys want to check that out, you guys want to check any of this out, QAnon.pub. And by the way, this whole thing with the three fingers, when I grew up, that used to mean Boston, blood, sweat, and tears. You had three stripes. So I don't know what. It was a big game that was played on the country, on the cham boards. That this means white power. And people have taken that and run with it. I mean, people talk like this, or they, well, I don't know. I guess it's common to do. I don't think I do that. I've done it on purpose, and it meant nothing to do with white power. I had pictures with me. Half the guys are black, and I'm like this. It doesn't mean what people think it means. That was all put out by the Chans to make people believe it, to see how far, because a lot of the stuff in the chants, which is why I wasn't so sure about Q at the beginning, because that's where it all started, is just kind of messing with people. So I thought maybe it was like this like genius plan, and somebody had somehow access to, the president's tweets, because at the beginning a lot of the proofs would just like Q would tweet something and then the same exact thing would be tweeted by the president, like back and forth, but it would always be Q first, which makes it a proof. If it's the president first, that's anyone could do that, right? So at the beginning I had a lot of questions, but at this point it depends on how long you've been following and how deep you followed it. So the Great Awakening, Lady Red Wave. So this isn't this. This is this. I think this has something to do with the UK. This is when I have seen this stuff. The 15th, on the 15th. This is fabulous. We're mad as hell. We're not going to take it anymore. Quid pro Joe getting called. Quid pro Joe. I didn't see this. Getting called out. Son of a bitch. He got fired, right, Joe? Wow. And what the hell is this? What's this guy? Oh, here we go. So he gets called out. People are waking up. Anything off Twitter, I'm going to have trouble playing. Say, yes, think for yourself. The sheep no more. See that 3? That means nothing. That means nothing. That's not. He's saying it means nothing. How stupid people are. As far as I know, if it means something, then I don't know. Maybe as kids we were, anyone that was around in the early 2000s in Boston and know about that. Like, I don't know. Were we all tricked? I don't think so. We are all equals in this fight. No one person is above another. Put on the full armor of God so that you take your stand against the devil's schemes. God bless you. United we stand. And then I have a picture of her doing that. Here we go again, the 129. See? Anon's determined significance of 129 from December 2nd drop. What was released precisely at 129? Well, it seems like he's still trying to make that point to some people who didn't get it. But if you guys watch this channel, we were talking about this. As soon as I saw that, we were talking about 129 on December 9th. And then when it happened, I made sure to remind everybody, but I didn't have screen sharing capabilities at the time. So, I just had my phone, and it's a lot easier to show the graphic. Otherwise, it's just words. This is exactly why we are here. The Q. See that? Look at this. So this is everyone. You know what? This is the best way to do it. Whoa. What happened there? Way back. That's the end. All right. So this is exactly why we are here. You see this? The IG report, IG tweet, Durham statement, IG report, announcement, OIG. So this is all released at the exact time that they predicted. Which makes it really, see right here. I'll show you guys this. Bombshell. Holy crap. Right on cue at 1:29 p.m. John Durham made a statement saying he disagrees with the finding of the OIG report. Huge Q proof. And not only did that happen, that's not the only thing that happened. So Ba also made a statement, and the IG report was released at that time. So all these things happen. I thought it would just be one thing. But maybe, they figured that's not enough. We'll do it all on 29. I mean, that's how do you explain that? I'm trying to think how anyone could just ignore that. I'm trying to really think, because a lot of people they just don't believe it. They think I'm like a shill for even talking about it. Nothing new with me. I've been talking about this since the beginning. I'm not going to just run for my position unless I see something that makes me think otherwise. And this is the channel where all this when he came back when Q came back on the new one, 8kun.net. I don't know why this channel was picked, but I didn't see it anywhere else. But someone came on this. You guys seen it, and they said Q is going to move very soon. And I read what he said, and I took it serious. And I said the site, boom, Q was back. 45 minutes after, it was during my live stream. I mean, thank God I was live at that time. And then I came back live an hour later, and I said, Q's back. We just had someone in the chat say he's gonna come back, and then he's back. Maybe that's why people think I'm a show, because it's like, how could that happen? As you were watching that live, it's like, who's this guy? Is he involved? No, I'm not involved. I'm just a guy who got a couple donations. I was able to buy a Chromebook computer, which, by the way, if you're buying a computer, Chromebook might not be the way to go if you're trying to do broadcasting. You don't even know. None of these screen sharing apps. Like I love what is that one called? It's the one that I can't even think. Anyways, the one I used to use, what is it called? OBS Studio. I love that one. It seems complicated, but it's really not once you get the hang of it. And look at this, Gang of D-Class, AS. And I mean, he has 3 sets of brackets around him, knowingly. So he knowingly lied because he was part of the Gang of 8, if I'm not mistaken. And then, now this is interesting, I think. Because I was watching Snowden on the Joe Rogan show. Joe Rogan's from Boston too, and he predicted it on there. And sure enough, homecoming 2020. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, is this going to keep going? Really? I thought this is all going to wrap up, but then again, 2020, we're talking 15 days. And then here we are, operators standing by. U.S. Naval Station, Guantanamo Bay. And we know, if you've been following it, you know, there has been some really weird flights going in and out of there with certain planes that would indicate some certain things. And then there's a phone number on this one. It's a DC number. I know that 212, or is that New York? I know 212 is DC or New York. I think it's actually DC. In New York would be 718, but they have more than one. But I think that's a DC now, and that's a phone number. I think it's to the FBI. I think, because I'm assuming that because the last time Q put a phone number, it went straight to the FBI tips line. Operators are standing by. So I wonder what happened if you called that number. Maybe I'll try later. I'm not going to do it live right now, just in case. Who knows what that is? There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Something going on in Virginia. First, let me see the stream and make sure everything's running well. Yeah, I know. I hate it. Yeah, I know. But I only had so much money I was working with. You know, I was able to get it for just over $200 and a nice one, touchscreen. What is it? This mic too much feedback. Yes, and that's what I saw. Great Cornholio. I saw it with Linux running, and actually that's what someone told me to do was run Linux off this, and then I could use OBS. I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. But so far, this is a good. I like this. Um, I tried so many other ones. So, anyways, this is something that I kind of want to put my 2 cents on this. I know some of you guys might have heard about this, but let's read it. So, with dozens of Virginia counties declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries, some Democratic lawmakers have said that the governor should use the National Guard to enforce future gun control legislation. But can he? Well, technically, I think he can. Virginia Democrats who control the legislature and governorship have proposed several measures, including an assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and a red flag law. The red flag law seems to be something that the president likes. I don't like it. I mean, I'm probably on some list for doing this and for talking about what I talk about on here. In response, 75 counties vowed they will not enforce future gun control legislation. So 75 counties vowed they will not enforce future gun control legislation. So that's where the problem comes, I think. Virginia Democratic Representative Donald McKeon told the Washington Examiner on Thursday that Governor Ralph Northam may have to nationalize the National Guard to enforce the law if local authorities refuse to do so themselves. Now, this is what I'm worried about when it comes to stuff like this. Anything big like this, where they could bring the National Guard in and they're pre-warning the public, like this must be, in the state of Virginia, this must be a hot issue. It's a national issue. But in the state of Virginia, it must be all over each and every news station. What I worry about is the use of artificial intelligence, the use of these world simulation tests that they have. Like they have a node for every single person in the world. And all this stuff is real. It's called the Sentient World Simulation, CWS. Look it up. And they can predict and your behaviors go into this node, and that node represents you. And they have as much data as possible in each node. And between all the social media, like my node is probably pretty close to how I would react to a situation. I don't know how they can tell that, but with artificial intelligence, the word is they can basically predict how people will react to certain news, especially stuff like this. And I think what they want is for people to react. Before they ever really send out the National Guard, they want people to react beforehand and give them an excuse. There's no way that they're going to send the National Guard to take your guns. So just be careful how you react, because a lot of what the media does, along with people that are in the tech industry, with AI, with quantum computing, this is serious stuff that can it finds out. You put in a problem into one of these quantum computers, for instance, boom, it spits out the optimal solution. You got to be pretty specific. That's the only problem, from what I understand, with quantum computers like D-Wave, is you have to be extremely specific in what you put in. And once you put in that problem, it will give you the optimal outcome that, what they should do. And it's all based on making these nodes, this sentient world simulation they got going, react. And they make them react to certain events, and they figure out what's the best way to go about things. And it makes me wonder, with this whole impeachment, that's just, in the end, everybody knows it's not going anywhere. The Senate, it's all Republican. They're not going to vote like that. Especially, this is a weak impeachment case, with some very broad charges, not specific charges. It's like they're trying to they said they're going to go forward, so they're going forward, and they're going to try to get them on whatever they can. I mean, it's kind of weird. That I'm surprised how many people really believe in this impeachment. It's just kind of, I don't know, hate. Like, what you got to be careful when there's like hate behind something. They will go through any lengths to make what they want to be true. It doesn't make it true. It just makes them try that much harder to convince people it's true, even if it's exactly what their best representative they could put forward. I mean, the one that they thought was their best representative they could put forward, the former vice president, even if it's exactly what he did. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy when you think of it. But my issue with this and what I'm worried about is that they're going to have this all over the news in Virginia, and they're going to force people to react. They're trying to do anything they can to stop what's coming, what's inevitably coming. And a lot of people might not agree with that. And, I'm not one of these diehard Republicans either. I used to always have liberal views. I believe in food stamps. I believe in government assistance. I don't believe in small government. I think that we need government. I mean, you need government. Someone needs to fix the road. I do want there to be things in place. And, I wouldn't mind if there were things where people, you have to do a drug test. I wouldn't mind that at all. People need to clean up their act and start getting responsible. If it would get a lot of people clean, a lot of people who have no other reason to get clean, that might be their reason to get clean. I don't know. I wouldn't mind a drug test on welfare, as long as it doesn't include marijuana, stupid stuff like that. I wouldn't mind that, but I think that government assistance is needed. We have a lot of people who are in need, which is why I don't agree with what they're doing with the food stamps. But on the other hand, I am a Christian. I do believe in God, and that's another thing. You guys hear about this thing on Netflix? There's this new thing on Netflix, and it's like it's a gay Jesus. Now, in my world, anyone could be whatever they want. That's fine. It's not my job to judge them. I'm not going to do that. But could you imagine they made a gay Muhammad? They would never do that. They'd be too scared of getting bombed and shot in their offices. But, Christians, they, I can't say have always been like that, because, you do have the Crusades. But you'd be all right. You'll get criticism, and then they'll let it go. It's just another thing. So, yeah, the new thing on Netflix, the new Christmas special on Netflix, and even though Christmas really is a pagan holiday based on Saturnalia, along with all the other holidays, which is why I guess I understand why Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate these holidays. If that's the reason, then I'm with that. That's fine. For my kid, yeah, Santa's coming. Absolutely. You do that for the kids. That's fine. But as a grown adult that understands really what it is, I can see where the Jehovah's Witnesses are coming from. I don't understand why they don't celebrate their kids' birthdays. I think that's kind of cruel. How do you not celebrate your kid's birthday? The only thing they celebrate is their marriage. I don't get it. If someone knows the answer to that, please. I'd be interested in knowing why. What did Deep State and Virginia do August 2017? Think. All were in on it and complicit to run event FF. Yes. Which event was that? Hey, West Texas. How you doing? West Texas? West Texas is a very, very kind person. She wrote the nicest letter. I had it all ready for the stream the other night. I don't have it all ready right now, but it's all being used. She sent this awesome soap, coconut soap. Is that from goat's milk? Amanda loves that. She uses it every day. She loves that. All the babies, John Deere branded babies' clothes. That was so nice of you, West Texas. I don't know how to thank you. I don't know. I thank you. It means a lot. Whatever can mean whatever you want it to mean. Refuse, control, usurp, co-op things. Yeah, exactly. That's true too. I agree with that. Yeah, I know. I haven't heard anything on this either, but I mean, they're not gonna send the National Guard in. They're trying to create reactions. That's how they roll. They're trying to create a reaction. And what the hell is going on in Virginia? Now I understand Virginia. Like when I looked up the population areas with the most money, like per capita, like as far as like the household, the Virginia area surrounding DC was right at the top of the list. It's because of how big and disgusting our government has gotten under Obama. Much love to you and yours as well, Westex. It's because of how big this government has gotten. It's very disgusting what's kind of gone on there. It's changed totally. And I think that's why we had a Charlottesville, which, definitely that was not the answer. And that was one of the president's down moments. I mean, he isn't going to apologize for anything. And that kind of got him there, because that's a situation where he had to do some uniting and not let it get worse. This country's like so divided, it's crazy. But I think we can all agree on a couple of things that have been going on, especially in Virginia. What is going on? And that this was some like really important stuff to the deep state. Especially when you look at somebody had on YouTube the other day what they were talking about at the last Bohemian Grove. What was on their agenda? There was a few things with cyber and social media, what we're doing here. There's also artificial intelligence, quantum computing, all these things, and it makes you wonder what they're up to, especially when they try to pass a bill where they could take a child could be born and the mother could be talked into, or just as long as they agree to it, the baby could be aborted, killed, basically. It's already born. They tried to pass a law like that. Oh, so Mark, you know what he's talking about in August was 2017, the train incident with the House and Senate? Oh, is that what it was? With the train and with all the Republicans on board, right? I was wondering what he meant. I wasn't sure. I was thinking Virginia. My head went to Virginia State shooting. Bilderberg. Oh, what did I say? Bohemian. Okay, Bilderberg. Thank you. You're right, Brian Wilson. That was Bilderberg. So at the last Bilderberg meeting. Thank you. That I got confused. You're right. It's the Bilderberg. That's right. It was the Bilderberg. Because you know exactly where I got that reference from. That was actually pretty good, that one. I found that informative. Heading to COG Green Bear, West Virginia. Oh, you're talking about Charlottesville. Is that what they're talking about? So I said Bohemian Grove. Oh, that's not annual. The Bohemian Grove thing isn't an annual thing. I thought it was every 4 years. Every 4 years they do it then. Oh, I thought I knew a lot about that. You guys ever see the Alex Jones video? I mean, these guys, they're literally the most powerful people, the CEOs of the biggest companies, leaders from all over the world. They come and they put these things on, all these black garments, and they all friggin' chant. And there's one guy, he kind of leads the chant, and all to the Moloch owl, and they burn it. It's like a rich man's Burning Man. So was it the train? Train was the annual drill to continuity of coverage. So you were talking about Charlottesville when you referenced August 2017. Yeah. When I think of like Virginia, I think about what they tried that law with the abortion bill. I mean, that is crazy. And what it's all about is legalese. They're trying to, there's a law that people won't do because it's not legal. They have these little loopholes where they are able to harvest certain organs and things like that. I hate talking about this stuff. But if they had passed that, they could have went so much further with this whole thing. I mean, would they be able to do, at what are they considered a person, even though they're born? I mean, there's a lot of like legal stuff when it comes to that and what you do with the organs, and is it actually a person or is it whatever else they might call it? I think it's a person. All right, so yeah, that's interesting. And Bohemian Grove is not annual. I don't know why I thought it was annual. I'm thinking of Bilderberg, I guess. So I think it's, but you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like every 4 years. Every 4 years, I think, something like that. If anyone got that answer, I'm very curious about that. Hollywood, science, tech, government, etc. Bohemian. Okay. So, see, I'm getting the hang of this. I'm just realizing I can just like show the comments I'm referencing. All right, I'll get the hang of this. Also, I don't know if any of you guys ever heard of Graham Hancock? Some of the stuff that he's going on about. But I want to show you this. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Ancient monuments and cities buried underneath the ocean. And the main thing that they're starting to find out, but there's a lot of pushback from kind of like the the regular, just they kind of, the problem with some of these ideas in archaeology and things like that is people tend to get married to their ideas, which I can understand. If Q's a psyop, maybe I kind of married myself to the idea that there's something more to it. I mean, if you can explain to me how he knew the date and time, I'm all ears. Of these reports and people speaking, putting out their statements, like Durham and Barr. So this is Jimmy from Bright Insight has a new video. What they found hidden beneath the waves: lost ancient underwater ruins, cities, and civilizations. In this video, Jimmy takes us around the world to explore ancient submerged sites. The majority are in the Mediterranean. Here are some of the sites discussed. Now here's some new stuff that they find. India Gulf of Cambay, which is 12 miles off the coast and 115 feet deep. I mean, these are some ancient cities and underwater ruins that they're finding. Possible Cuban city and pyramids 2,500 feet deep. I can see why they say possible. But they have those machines that can go down there and they must see something. So we'll see about that one. That one sounds kind of, you don't know. It could be, might not be. The infamous, because it could be like a mountain under at the bottom of the ocean. Who knows? That I'd have to see more proof on that to believe that they're pyramids. And that deep, 2,500 feet deep, could have been like a valley. I don't know. The infamous Yonaguni monument, 85 feet beneath the surface near Japan and Taiwan. Then we have Nan Madol, and this is a new one for me, the largest ancient Greek city off the coast of Russia. In the video, he discusses how ocean levels over 400 feet lower 20,000 years ago. Additionally, how Earth has gone through cyclical changes regarding ocean levels rising and falling, with the huge rise transpiring right around the Younger Dryas time period. Now, the Younger Dryas time period, if it's the time period I think they're talking about, it's about like 11,800 years ago, approximately, but that's pretty specific. When there's all these people coming out now, and they're saying that a catastrophe happened at that exact time, and the studies and the samples that they've been taking, they prove it. Let me pull up Graham Hancock because I want to reference this correct. Tepe. Göbekli Tepe. So the Göbekli Tepe, am I saying that right? Göbekli Tepe. I find it really interesting because it would go along with what's in the Bible. I mean, it's been kind of funny with all the technology they have, more and more of the Bible, some stuff that people thought were like fables or like, just stories to prove a larger point, it turned out to be literal. They're able to find the exact site where it happened, prove that, what they saw in their eyes was one thing, and we can actually explain the science behind it. And now they're looking back, and right around the time when it was supposed to be the days of Noah, there was this huge flood. Now I think what he's trying to say is that it all happened. Man, I got a bad knee. I'm trying to. He's trying to say that this happened because of a comet, but it goes right along with what's in the Bible, which is why I find it interesting. He's been saying this for years. It's been gaining traction because they're doing more and more tests. God damn it. What happened here? Excuse me. So GrahamHancock.com. It's better just to do this by hand on these things. So Göbekli Tepe is a name familiar to anyone interested in the ancient mystery subject. Billed as the oldest stone temple in the world, it is composed of a series of megalithic structures containing rings of beautifully carved T-shaped pillars. It sits on a mountain ridge in southeast Turkey, just 8 miles from the ancient city of Urfa, close to the traditional site of the Garden of Eden. Here, for the past 10,000 years, its secrets have remained hidden beneath an artificial belly-shaped mound of earth, some 300 by 220 yards in size. Agriculture and animal husbandry were barely known when Göbekli Tepe was built, and roaming the fertile landscape of Southwest Asia were, we were told, primitive hunter-gatherers whose sole existence revolved around survival on a day-to-day basis. And basically why this is so big is it shows that back then that's not what these people were. They were not as primitive, and they weren't just hunter-gatherers. They built these sites. And so here's where it's located. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's right there. I mean, right between Turkey, Syria, Iran. Look at it, right in between. And this is where they said the Garden of Eden was. You see the 4 rivers, where the 4 rivers meet. That's like a famous thing, right? The Euphrates, the Tigris, all these rivers meeting. This is important land. This is where people would. I could see this could be where people start. And look at this, all these old sites. So it's very intriguing. So what is Göbekli Tepe? Who created it and why? More personally, why did its builders bury their creation at the end of its useful life? And the thing is, these mounds that they're finding all over the place, and they are all over the place, and all over the place here in North America. Apparently, there's one out in the state of Washington, but like Eastern Washington, where they really want to start doing some digging. They're trying to get the permits and all that to do some digging and see if there's it looks like there's this artificial mound out there. I find this fascinating. These are the questions I ask in a new book, Göbekli Tepe, Genesis of the Gods, in which I provide compelling evidence that the myths of the watchers of the Book of Enoch and the Anunnaki of Mesopotamian myth and legend are memories of the Göbekli builders and their impact on the rise of civilization. Now, some of this might sound kind of funky, right? But more and more archaeologists and scientists and what is that other guy? What was his specialty? The uh, rock scientists, ROCK, rock geologists. Um, More and more of them are starting to sign off on this. They're looking at a cataclysm happening at this time that coincides with the flood. And we're talking the whole world. It filled in all of North America. This is how they think the Great Lakes were formed. A lot of the old thinking that was thought with some of these glaciers melting, and that's all it was the ice age going to the post ice age. That would happen over time. These things, from what the archaeology and the geology are showing, a lot of their tests. You want more? So, anyways, if you guys haven't looked into this, this is something you really might want to look into. It's wicked interesting. I learned about it. I seen him on Joe Rogan, and all these scientists are backing up his stuff, and they kind of basically had like him and a couple other scientists that backed him up. And then they brought in scientists who kind of, they think that it's BS, and they give why they think it's BS. Thanks. So, and they kind of sit there and they kind of have this debate, and it's extremely interesting. I really recommend this because I find it fascinating. Human hybrids. I mean, it goes a little bit nuts. Ritual purpose. I mean, I really find this interesting. I was just looking at all this today, so I'm gonna look deeper into this. And if you guys want, I'll do a whole show on it because there's a lot of information out here. I'd have to really start looking into it. But what I have looked at, it's compelling. It's compelling because it's not just this. This guy doesn't just say this stuff to try to prove the Book of Enoch. He's going by actual hard science, and he's being backed up by many geologists and archaeologists. So this might be a breakthrough in science, this site, and change what they thought of humans living in that period. So a couple other things I was going to just mention. A Miami detective, you guys want to check this out? A Miami detective on Waters World was talking about Epstein. If you guys want to check that out, literally just search Waters World, Miami detective, and type in Epstein. And then this 14-year-old boy, he was beaten up. So in a Twitter post from November 21st, an individual purporting to be the boy's parent wrote, "I am sitting in the hospital with my 14-year-old kid because he was just jumped by 8 black kids on the school bus." Well, that sounds kind of racist, but makes sense. I guess that's what happens when a kid wears a Trump hat to school. Am I surprised by this? No, not at all. I'm not surprised by this at all. You kidding me? Who do I blame? The media. The parent added, "Earlier in the day, they poured milk all over his head." Kids are fucking cool. In a follow-up tweet on Thursday, the parent posted a video of the beating. Ooh, man. So it must have been bad. Anyways, so that's what I got for tonight. I'm gonna go put the baby down. I just wanted to touch base with you guys and put that out. Ooh, what happened there? Just a couple things I've been looking at, and I just wanted to kind of run by you guys, just kind of put out there if you guys want to check it out too, because there's some interesting stuff you guys could be looking into. Cycles of different time, concurrent solar cycles. You think so? You think it's not natural disasters, Brian? That's what there are some other geologists and archaeologists saying, but these I know what you mean by these things happening over time, if that's is what you're saying, but I like that. So sun is plasma universe. I wonder if this is the same Brian Wilson. Do you go under a different Brian? No, actually, no, that's not, because he has a YouTube channel. Sounds like something he would say. Magnetic pole shifts. So what they're putting forward is a comet. They said they're thinking that a comet hit, and I'm gonna look more into the subject, but I know that a lot of people are starting to have their minds changed by this. I know that what you're saying is like the basically the mainstream way of thinking. But there's more and more of these scientists that aren't as married to their ideas, and they're seeing through all these tests, these spikes right around that time, about 11,800 years ago. These spikes where it's just like it's unexplained. It's not this gradual melting of the ice. It's the spike. There was some kind of cataclysm, and that's what they're saying. I'm gonna look more into that stuff, and as well as the Göbekli Tepe. I find it really fascinating. I'm gonna look into it, and I'm gonna do a show on it. But that's it for this show. I just wanted to show you guys that Q-proof, couple other things. People in Virginia, what I wanted to say to you was, do not react. Don't. They're looking to get reactions out of people. That is something that's the type of thing that I know. This other stuff, I'm kind of leaving my wheelhouse because I find it interesting. I think it's important. Regardless of what happened there, this is the oldest site known to man, this Göbekli Tepe. So there's some knowledge to be had there. It definitely changes the whole hunter-gatherer thing. That's at the very least, it does that. But as far as what's in my wheelhouse is the technology stuff, the way that they use sentient world simulation to predict how people will react. And I think just the threat, the whole thing, they're coming to take your guns. They're coming to take your guns. They're going to use the National Guard and take your guns. And Charlottesville, after what happened in Virginia, after the whole Charlottesville thing, after many little things that have gone on there, I think they've had some shady governors, some shady lieutenant governors. I mean, do you remember that point around all of a sudden, the couple days after that whole abortion bill thing, a couple days after that happened, all of a sudden blackface comes out. I feel like that's what they do. They have like these blackface videos or pictures that they'll take of them, along with a lot more damning stuff, I believe. And if they don't, this governor did not do a good job making that sound like a nice, it's a woman's choice, and some of the key points. Who are these men to be telling women what to do? And to a point, I agree with that. But they use that type of rhetoric to justify some really outrageous stuff. It is very bright. So I'm telling you, I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a reaction out of you people in Virginia. And that will give them every right to use the National Guard to justify the means. It's kind of like what they did in Louisiana. I don't know if they just took advantage of a natural disaster, and the fact that there was lawlessness down there. The police left. We've seen what it's like when when the rule of law just kind of goes out the door. The police go with their family because their family's in danger. I mean, I don't necessarily blame the police in that situation. It's unfortunate, but their family is amongst the community. Maybe not in as rougher communities as, down in New Orleans, some of those wards down there. I forget which the number, but some of those wards were horrible. But they use it as an excuse to take their guns. And I think that they like just like they used a natural disaster. Now some people might say they caused it. Who knows? We know they can mess with the weather. That's a fact. But I think that they're trying to get reactions out of people, and then they'll use the National Guard and take your guns. Yeah, Virginia. You know what? Virginia is key in that way, Brian Wilson. That's a good point. Um, so we see a lot going on in Virginia, and that might be. I think Brian's onto something there. I think that might be exactly it. You think about the where it sits, its location politically. What north, it's nothing but liberal. South, it's nothing but conservative. Right? North Carolina, kind of on the line, right? Outside of D.C., of course, is South, but that don't count. As far as states, basically, that you see the liberal kind of pouring into the South, but there's going to be pushback, and I think Charlottesville was kind of a hot point there, as you had mentioned, and that was a situation where they wanted people to react in that way. They're trying to create situations where they can get an action, and they can. I mean, literally, they're trying to control the way you react so that they can react and give them the right to use force, to use laws against you. I mean, that's how it goes. That's how they kind of got the Q people. They got them to react to certain things. And then they paint the Q crowd to look like crazy people. If you can explain to me how they were able to predict the day and the time of the release, along with the statements by Durham and Barr, I'm all ears. Because it's stuff like that fabricated the whole thing was manufactured. Potentially. Maybe. I wasn't there. But I know that they try to use stuff against us, and we have to be careful of that and not react the way they want us to. Anyways, I got to get going. Red Pill News Dispensary. Great chat, by the way, tonight. As Mark Nard said. Great job. All right, Red Pill News Dispensary. Thank you, guys. I couldn't even do my... All right, guys, let's see. What? Did I say expensive? All right, guys, have a good night. I said dispensary. Fake news dispensary. All right, I'll see you guys.
Where's the light?